Hey there, I'm getting to know the new Bernat cottonish yarn. It is by Vicky Howell for Bernat.com. So if you can go to the website Bernat.com, Bernat.com, you'll be able to find more information about this new Bernat cottonish yarn. It has this particular skein has a free pattern for a tie, a little bow tie for a boy. This skein has a free pattern for a little sundress for a girl. And this color is gray t-shirt. The other color is cotton gin. Let's learn more about this yarn. It's a cushy yarn. It feels a little bit like a t-shirt. Yeah, feels a lot like a t-shirt. Each skein is 70 grams or 2.4 ounces. And each skein has 258 meters or 282 yards. It is 55% cotton and 45% acrylic. Machine washable and dryable delicate. So with it being dryable delicate, I would probably use an air only cycle in my dryer, or I would even just lay it out to dry. This is a lightweight yarn. Use a size 6 knitting needle or 4 millimeter. You'll get 22 stitches in a 4-inch square or a 10 centimeter square. For crochet, you would use a size G or 6 crochet hook, 4 millimeter. You'll get 16 single crochets in a 4-inch or 10 centimeter square. And I think that's all that this label tells us. It says that you need 1 ball of this color for that tie, and you need 1 ball of another color to make that little tie. It's cute. So that is the yarn. Now I want to knit and crochet with it to see how it feels, and I've got a little section here, but I don't think that's the center. I think that's just a piece that got pulled loose by somebody looking at it in the store. So we're going to let that go. Let's switch over to this one. I'll fix that other one later. That is the outside. I can tell that's the outside of the yarn. So we're going to put that under the label. And I want to see how I can get into the center of this thing. Stick my finger in there, stick my finger in there, pull here. I think I'm getting a little loose section. Yay. I think I'll pull it out this way. Should work better. There. There. That's the way I get to the center. There it is. I can see the end right here. It's a little twisted, but not too bad. So I'm going to try to work with that. Let's try crochet to start with this time. Usually I start out working with knit, but this time I'm going to be different. I'm going to try working with crochet. So put it onto my size G hook. And this is not a worsted weight cotton acrylic blend. It is considered a DK yarn, I think is what they said on the website. Or sport weight. Feels closer to DK to me. And it's working easily. I don't have to hold the yarn too tightly. I don't have to hold it too loosely. It just kind of works nicely. It has a cushy feel to it, so it would be easy to hold this too tightly if you're not careful. So you need to let it flow as you work with it, so that it doesn't get too tight on your hook. Okay, let's try doing some single crochets. I'm just going to go under one strand to work some singles for the first row. And that's working well. I'm not having a problem with my hook. I'm using a plastic hook. It might be easier to use a metal hook, because this is a grippy yarn. It grips hold of the plastic hook I'm using. It might work easier with a metal hook. It's not flowing as quickly as it would on metal, I think. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn, even though I'm not at the end of the row. I'm going to turn so I can see how it works going the other way. But sometimes the second row works a little different than the first row, I've noticed. And still it's grippy with this plastic hook, so I think it would work better with a metal hook. But I don't have a metal hook size G, so I can't try. So you can try that at home. I want to see how the fabric looks after I finish this row. You know, I think it might work better with a smaller hook than a G. There's your fabric with a G hook. So it might work better with an F hook, I think. That's just me. For me personally, since I'm a loose crocheter, I might need to use a size F hook. So now I'm going to unravel it and see how that works. Ooh, it unravels very easily. Very nice. Easy peasy. So now I'm going to try knitting with it. Move that out of the way, slide down over here. And I'm going to try with my Denise interchangeables. Cast on a few stitches here. Gray is not really my favorite color. I should try with a color I like more, I think. Knit these 4 stitches and see how they work. Now I can tell that this yarn has several plies. It feels like, gosh, let's see here. 1, 2, 3. It has 4 plies, so it would be very easy to split this as you're working with it. So make sure as you knit that you don't stick your point of your needle halfway through the strand. Make sure you go all the way under it as you work the stitch. So I think that pointy needles might not be a good choice for this yarn, because it would split this yarn pretty quickly. It still feels very cushy. It kind of reminds me of, not exactly, but a little bit like a suede kind of feel to it. Even though it's not anything like suede, it just kind of feels like suede on my fingers. So that's what I mean when I say it feels kind of grippy. It grips hold of the needles. So it would probably work better with metal needles. So I think I'm going to switch to metal needles right now after I finish this row. And the metal needles that I have in size 6 are coated vintage knitting needles, so they might not give me a very good representation of what I need. These are Millward from England 4mm needles. I have no idea where I got these. I'm always buying knitting needles and things at different places. So I could have gotten it on eBay. It could have been a gift from a friend. I just don't remember. And I do like the way it's feeling already with this metal hook. Better than I did with the plastic resin Denise interchangeables. I didn't like the way it felt with those because it was gripping the yarn too tightly. So let's see how it feels with 2 metal needles. And that is feeling much better. Much better. The yarn is flowing a lot nicer, and it's not hurting my wrists like it was before. So for me personally, I like cottonist yarn on metal needles. Not sure what you would like, but you might want to try using metal needles if you use it. It makes a sweet fabric. I like that. It's sweet. So now I'm going to try purling with these coated metal needles. I wonder what they're coated with. You can look it up on the internet. Milward, Milward, England knitting needles. And see what they're coated with. But these are, I think these are vintage. They look vintage to me. And it purled well. I'm going to knit another row so I can see what stockinette fabric looks like. I think that this yarn might work well with size 5 needles instead of size 6. Uh-oh, I went under the row before. It's hard to knit when you're reaching around a camera. There. That's better. Plus these needles are kind of long. It'll be easier with shorter ones. This table is fighting me. Poor me. Whoa. There. So now you can see it makes a good stockinette fabric. Makes a good garter stitch fabric. But I think that for me, I would need to use size 5 needles to get the fabric the way I want it to look. I think the fabric would look better with smaller needles. So there you have it, my little mini review of Bernat cottonish yarn. There you go, you can try it yourself. You can purchase this yarn by going to Bernat.com, and you'll find more free patterns there, and you'll eventually probably find a pattern book there for this yarn. So there you go. See you later. Bye.